Right then, hello boys and girls. Thought I'd do a video just on my thoughts on the recent Hasbro Pulse. I was going to say the kind of exclusive fan. It's normally Fans Friday, but it's actually on a Tuesday. Just some reveals from the upcoming Legacy collection and Wave 2. And if you can see my screen, I'm actually doing this off my phone. So if you're watching this, it's probably better to hold it in that kind of portrait view, and that way you should see the whole screen. So there were a few things that were kind of teased or spoilers that came out first. So there were images of Blitzwing and also one of the Stunticons as well, two of the Stunticons, in fact, Motomaster, who you see here. One of the things that they actually started off with was the kind of converting robot here. So I'll just bring the
exposing its massive
firepower. So if I just go back to the beginning of this, it's actually
the fully controllable
there we go. So it's actually kind of a trailer for the for this converting Optimus Prime here.
Hear this message.
So it's quite a cool little advert here. It didn't actually say how much it was, so that makes me think it's kind of on par with the Optimus Prime. So you're probably talking, you know, £800, something like that, something ridiculous. But it looks like the roller is remote controlled. All of this kind of transforms. So it looks pretty cool. I don't know if you have like a different controller that goes with it, but it looks pretty big because the other one's pretty big anyway. Okay, so it's like it's remote controlled. Oh, it's got Spike in there as well, and it's actually controlled by the app or voice. Yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. So that was the main thing that they kind of opened with, and then they went on to talk about the Transformers video game. So I'll get rid of that.
Limited edition Optimus Prime, pairing together to create the most
yeah, they went with that, and then they also talked about the Transformers video game, their handheld game, Forged to Fight, with Rodimus coming up in that, and it was like a big anniversary, so they had a little bit about that. They didn't talk really about the VR game, I don't think, and then he went straight into talk about Wave 2, which I knew some of the figures that were coming on, so I'm going to go to the website. So go to the Hasbro Pulse site. So the first one that they showed, I think, was Wild Rider. So you can see there, and these are all the prices. So they are available to pre-order. I'll show you this and then show you links with where I get some of mine as well. So it's, you know, a few pounds difference here and there. So you've got Transformers Wild Rider. So he's one of the Stunticons. So obviously we're still waiting on, I think it's Dragstrip, the first one to come out to most places. So my internet connection, typically, as I'm doing this off my 4G connection rather than my Wi-Fi at home, is a little bit slow. But you can see here, it looks pretty good. There's a few like pegs and things on him, which as they kind of go on and show later on is where he pegs into Menasor. And they've got a few different kind of pictures and things of him in this mode. I think the head looks pretty good. You know, it's definitely an upgrade on the Combiner Wars one, I would say. Although the Combiner Wars one is pretty good for their time. There is a fair bit of like back kibble though on the back of this. I don't know if you can see it, where it kind of splits out. So it's not like one piece, it does separate. I might have a similar thing here. So it comes with a couple of guns, and you see he's got that ankle tilt there as well. Looks as if he's got a fair bit of kind of paint and stuff on him as well. The vehicle mode looks nice. You've got the kind of translucent red plastic on there as well. All the wheels look painted, nice details down the side as well. So the vehicle mode looks good on these ones as well. Oh yeah, just show you can mount the guns on there. With the guns mounted on there, it does remind me a little bit of the gun attachments that you had for the original G ones, where they plugged into the back and the two guns kind of came over the top. So I don't know if that's what they were kind of going for with that. And there he is kind of in packaging as well there. I think they have some other bits as well. Potentially on the back here, just shows you the steps from one mode into the other, and then you get this kind of QR code thing where you scan the back and it gives you like a detailed readout of that figure in terms of like a tech spec and things like that. So that's something that they're doing with these ones here as well. And then some more kind of digital renders there for him as well. So yeah, so that's Wild Rider. And then if we go back then, the surprise for me was actually Knockout. So it seems like with the legacy thing, they are putting in a load of Prime characters, it seems to me anyway, in this first couple of drops. Because we've had Bulkhead, we've had an RC, and now we're getting a Knockout, which seems like this is probably definitely, I would say this is the best version that we've had. The other one, we've had a couple of versions, but this definitely stands out to me. And it's a cool character as well. So they were saying it is kind of based off the Jazz mold, but then with like a few tweaks here and there. So it's been used for Jazz, Jackpot. The head sculpt looks really good. I'm not a big fan of the Energon kind of weapons that they've got on these. They seem like they got like, they're supposed to combine the stuff, which I get, but there's loads of like holes and things on them, which doesn't look that pretty in my opinion. But the paint job looks good on him, and he's a very cool character to get as well. Hopefully this other page will load up as well, another one of him. So it just shows you I can split out the weapons. So he's then got a gun and this kind of tasery sort of thing. Get another view of him there. Hopefully get some of him in vehicle mode, which is the one coming up next. Yeah, apologies for this. My internet connection isn't great here, but that looks really nice. All the yellow in there and the different colours of shades of red with the Decepticon symbol looks really nice. So that is one that I'll definitely be getting along with Wild Rider, I think. And then some more pictures. Not a big fan of the weapons combined on the top. And then as we go through, see if there's any others on here. I mean, on the pre-order thing, it says basically the first of December. I think that's what they've got it as. Seems a long way away. And of course, with the packaging now, what they're doing is they're not having any plastic on it. So you have a window box where you see the figure, but there's no plastic on the outside, which is really good. So there's that one there. And then this guy, Tarantulas. And I knew he was coming, but to be honest with you, I was watching it and I'd kind of forgotten a lot of these ones. So when I tuned into this, I thought I'd seen so many reveals beforehand. I was kind of expecting just to show what had already been revealed in terms of stuff that had been leaked. But when I saw this guy, he looks great. Obviously, slightly based on the Black Arachnia mold, but they did a size comparison and he's quite a bit chunkier. But because he's deluxe, he's still priced at that same price point. So you get a bigger figure, so you get more plastic for your money. And he looks great. I love the head sculpt on him. I was just waiting for this to load up. They did say that and they use that kind of textured look for the beast mode to, make the body of it look more like a spider. You've got those eyes and stuff all around his kind of crotch and things like that. You've got all the little spider legs going all around him. The head sculpt looks great. They're different colours. Looks really, really pops. The one figure that we didn't see out of the announcement, which I wanted to see really, was Beast Wars Inferno. So I'm kind of holding out for that one. I'm sure they have said that he is coming, and they showed off some of the weapons that he's got here. So he comes with the standard weapon in his right hand there, which is what Black Arachnia comes with, and kind of what the vintage toy came with. And the other gun in his other hand, the saw thing, is kind of a bit of a nod to the weapon that the Transmetal version came with. So that's quite neat. And then as we go through, it then shows some more pictures of him in his robot mode, so you get a bit more of a close-up look. And then it should then go into the kind of spider, the beast mode, where you'll then see him there, and it looks great. It is a fair bit bigger. They said they moved away from not having doing the texture on the legs, just to give it a bit more of a robotic look, and I think that works well. And as we sort of go through here, it'll probably show us one more picture of the spider mode before we move on to pictures of the packaging. But that is one that we're really looking forward to and want to get hold of, definitely. I'll come back out of that one, but you get the general idea. And the other one that they showed in, I think she was a deluxe. Yeah, she's a deluxe as well, is Alita 1. We will go into that one, but that looked really good. One figure that are not showing on here that I can see is there's a Soundwave. So they announced a reissue kind of Soundwave, which was based on the War for Cybertron Siege one, but without all the blast effects. Not without the blast effects, without the battle damage and stuff like that. Which I'm kind of glad that they announced it or have it in the range, just because that's an easy miss for me. So I'm glad that it's in there, because it's like one figure that's in the range that I don't have to get. Whereas, I think I'll probably end up getting Alita 1, even though it's not a must-have or anything. I think it looks pretty good. They're going for more of a G1 look to this rather than the IDW look. And I've already seen a load of pictures around here, so put that back to how it is. They've already shown that people have done a few, digi versions of this, where they've shown this character as kind of Minerva and a few other sort of like headmaster ones. So I think it could be used for that. But it looks pretty neat. But then they show the two Energon blasters again. I'm not a big fan of the guns, but it's a cool looking figure. The vehicle mode, when I first saw it, I was like, "What the is that?" But the more I've seen it, got to appreciate it a little bit more, and I think I'm kind of liking it a little bit more. I think. Hopefully that will load up, and you see it's pretty it's pretty far out. It kind of looks like a Safari Jeep thing. It kind of looks a bit like European Vacation. They're kind of the one that the Griswolds go off in. It's kind of really wild colours, and where he comes back, and it's like, oh, I've got the station wagon. It kind of looks like that, but it's a little bit different. It's not quite the G1 vehicle, but they've kind of done something a bit different with it, I think, which is quite neat. Yes, they've got that. And then you can see that's another view of it. Then they moved on to the Voyager figures, and this one was I'm never sure how to pronounce this. I always say J-Axis, or I'm not sure if that's the right way to pronounce it, but it's we've only had probably a couple of these. I remember in Generations they released this figure, and he was a remold basically of Armada Starscream, which looked really cool, but he was in like bright orange colours, where this one he's kind of how you would see him in the comic book. So he's kind of got those yellow, white, the red. It's a very unique colour scheme, really. He's got that G2 symbol on the front here, and you can see in his leg you've got all those kind of mad kind of wires that are showing that are exposed, which look great. So I'm looking forward to taking a look at this one here as well. I think they show him with his gun here as well in the next picture as this loads up. Interestingly enough, I mean, these only went on pre-order. I'm filming this on Wednesday, and this was all shown on the Tuesday, so it's gone quick and messages popping up there. So we've got a couple of weapons there as well, red and silver, so it looks like you can combine those as well. And then they showed the vehicle mode, which kind of looks good. I can't even remember seeing it that much in the comics, the G2 comics and things like that, but it looked pretty good. I mean, the robot mode here looks great, and the head sculpt, and you can see you've got like a thing there that kind of like looks like it mounts in his shoulder there as well. The vehicle mode looks great, but it's like his arms basically just fold up underneath him, so it looks a little bit naff in that respect. So I'm surprised really that they haven't kind of done more with that. I did again see whenever like a new figure's released, people straight away thinking about what else they can make out of this one, and people post a load of pictures of Thunderwing, the figure that goes in the center of it, so the kind of pretender figure that goes in the middle, and his jet mode. So saying that could be a potential. So that could be something they do. So I don't mind that. This vehicle mode looks pretty good. I mean, I don't like the arms tucked underneath. I think that looks a bit naff. And I don't like the gun clipped on underneath. I would rather, because you see where the silver gun's pegged onto the side, I'd rather they peg onto the side or underneath, even if it's slightly uneven. I just think the look of that like that looks a little bit naff. So I won't go through all of the pictures, so we'll move on to some of the next ones that are on here. So it looks like it's shot me all the way down to the bottom here. So we've got these ones here. We've got Blitzwing, which they kind of showed, we've seen now for a couple of weeks. He looks pretty cool. He's kind of got, almost looks like two rifles, which are two of the same here. Sorry, these messages keep popping up while I'm sort of doing this. So that's a disadvantage, I guess, of doing it on your phone. But at the same time, what I wanted to do is kind of do this as soon as possible, because I'm actually away on holiday at the moment, but I just want to try and get a video out just showing my thoughts. And the robot mode on this looks dead nice, really clean. Head looks great, and all the paint apps look fantastic. Be interesting to see who's going to swap over their current Blitzwing, because we've got the Headmaster one, we've got the Generations one. I think I swapped out my Generations one when the Titans Return one came out, but I think I will get this one, but I'm not too sure I'll get rid of the other one, because with the Headmaster ones at least you can swap out and put a different head in them. So that's the advantage of them. Obviously you get 3 modes with this guy. So you get the tank mode here, which looks okay. It looks good. I mean, you do have that kind of jet bit that is kind of sticking out, which is a little bit garish. And with this one, he's got these kind of extra bits which kind of clip on here. So that's his Energon kind of gimmick with this one. And you can plug them on the end, so they look like kind of Gatling guns in robot mode. So they look like these giant fists. The jet mode sort of kind of falls down on me a little bit. I mean, underneath it looks like you've got another, I mean, you just got the tank treads folded up underneath there, so that looks a little bit naff, in my opinion. And it may go on to show you some of the other bits where they kind of clip on. So, I mean, this Blitzwing figure, I will get it, but I'm not too excited about it. His triple changes are hard to do. So they've done Blitzwing and Astro Train again, having already done them in Titan's Return. So it makes sense that we'll probably see Octane in this. You see here he is with his sword here as well. One that I think we haven't seen is Sandstorm. I don't think he's made an appearance out of the triple changes. You know, we've seen Springer and we've seen Broadside fairly recently, but we haven't seen Sandstorm, I don't think, recently. So there you are. There he is with the hands clipped on. So yeah, it's good. £50 expensive for that type of figure. I mean, it's basically a Voyager with all these add-ons. Yeah, so you know, it's a big jump up 30 to 50 when it feels like you're just paying for those extra bits. And then these two, you can see the Motormaster is already sold out. So he is basically a Voyager figure, but he comes with the trailer. So they showed him alongside Optimus Prime to show that he is that size. Now, this looks great, don't get me wrong, but I do have some concerns. One is like how big that leg is, and see where that ankle, the pivot in it is, the ankle tilt thing. It's literally like halfway up his leg because those boots are so big. So that's my one worry, that in a kind of like a dynamic pose he's gonna look like he's wearing clogs. So that's the only thing. The head sculpt looks great, looks really cool. Comes with a sword, looks cool. It comes with a trailer bit as well, which looks nice. I mean, it would be nice to have that purple line go all the way across, which would be good. Be interesting to see if they do, because if they've got this for Optimus Prime, there's no reason why they couldn't do something like this for Optimus Prime as a battle station and have things that clip on. Looks like there's kind of Combiner Wars type ports where you could attach these on as well. So that's the kind of battle station. It showed as well as part of the video that you could adjust the height of the gun, so it could be used then for different size figures. And then, yeah, I mean, it's interesting what they've done with kind of Motormaster and the Stundercons, but not unexpected in terms of it's what all the third-party companies have been doing, in terms of they've been using the trailer for Motormaster as basically shell for the Combiner. So absolutely no surprise that they've done that. I don't know, they're not shown the combined bit in here, I don't think. They did on the Transformers site, so I will go back to that a second. But the other really cool one was this Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus, which they showed, which I'm definitely going to get. And I love the colours. I was hoping that they were going to do this Delta Magnus thing, but I wasn't expecting the G2 thing with that head sculpt. I haven't seen that before. That really is quite wild, and it's really cool. The blue kind of Optimus Prime, the head mold is crazy good, and even all these Energon things, it comes with like a matrix that plugs into it. The skull thing looks amazing, and then you get the additional head with it, which is great. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, you can see where the matrix bit plugs in. So that's great. The other thing I'll show you is we'll just go back to Facebook. If I go onto the Transformers thing on here, I think it's the actual official Transformers site. Yeah. Yeah, so if I go onto the official Transformers Facebook page, I think this is where, I'm sure this is where they showed Motormaster, but with the extra bits on. Typical. Do you know what? Let's find it in here instead, because I'm sure we've got it in here. Sure we've got it. So you can see that picture there from Cybertron there. So this is on their site. Don't know if you can see that there. So you can see, basically showed on the video where they all plug in. So they do actually properly plug in their vehicle mode. Drag strip almost breaks in half after you plug him in. So you plug him in as a whole vehicle, and then it kind of moves off. In terms of, you know, you kind of break it in half and it kind of does that, and then with the legs they kind of plug into the back, but it then fills in that kind of middle, that kind of calf section, so it kind of makes it a load more complete. So yeah, so there's plenty of stuff to see. Obviously that's all available on Pulse. The other place that I looked is I quite often use In Demand Toys. So one thing I noticed with them is they do actually have Motormaster still available, and the prices are slightly cheaper. So you can see there's only like a couple of pounds in it here and there, but there is something in it on each of them. So you're kind of saving a couple of quid here and there with all of these ones. And they do have Buzzworthy Silver Streak in as well. So that's another good one as well. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. I just wanted to show you that. Obviously, all of these are available for pre-order on the Hasbro Pulse site, and also various different retailers. Be interested to know your thoughts, which ones you're going to be picking up, and how many of you are looking to get rid of your Combiner Wars or Unite Warriors Menasor and trade it in. I think I'm going to keep hold of mine for now, just because I think the market's going to be absolutely saturated with loads of people trying to get rid of theirs, so I'm not going to get a good price for it for now. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye for now.